Next week is the DMC World Final in Tokyo, and I will be flying out there to judge the competition. As a former DMC champion, this competition has completely changed my life. So it's a real honor to be on the panel alongside some of the biggest legends in the game. Now, some of my all-time favorite competitors in the DMCs have come from Japan. And in this video, I'm looking back at some of my personal favorite Japanese DMC DJ moments from across the years. I'm going to rewatch some of my favorite clips, and then I'm going to break down exactly what is happening on the turntables to help you understand this art form better. Starting off with the youngest ever DMC World DJ Champion, DJ Rena, who won the competition in 2017 at the age of 12 years old. And he's still today making some of my favorite routines that I've seen in recent years. Let's take a listen.
I dig it.
So what he's doing right now is called beat juggling. That's where you take two copies of the same record and you create your own remix of the track by rearranging different parts of the song into different rhythms, and you cut between each record using the crossfader. The beat juggling that Rena is about to do is actually quite a classic style. But to be honest, in my opinion, this classic style of beat juggling was really welcome around this time, because the style of DMC competitors at this point in time had become quite aggressive and actually quite difficult to listen to. And that's the reason that I've picked this part of Rena's winning set, because it took things back to a time when beat juggles and DMC routines were actually good to listen to as well as being impressive. The speed of that is crazy. So it's not just the speed, it's also the accuracy. Each time he was pulling those records back, he's hitting it right on point. And trust me, as a former DMC competitor, your routine could be tripped up by anything, especially nerves when you're on the World Final stage. So trust me, some of these beat juggle patterns that he's pulling off completely clean, when you take the context of the situation into account, it's even more impressive. Completely tight.
Funky Comadina.
And now he's about to completely flip the tempo.
Come in, Mr. DJ.
Again, for me, one of the most impressive things with this routine is how tight it is. Some of the best ever DMC competitors, they make it look so easy, and that's what I think Rena is doing right here. But believe me, this is far from easy. I love those transformers there. Rena had real confidence on the stage that night. I was actually there at the event, and to be honest, I couldn't believe what I was seeing from some kids so young. But Rena fully deserved to win the world title that year in 2017. And by the way, if watching these routines is inspiring you to get into scratching, then I've put together some in-depth, completely free scratching lessons that you can grab right now. And they even come with a completely free scratch tool so that you can start practicing immediately. The link is down in the description and it's completely free. Okay, next up, we're going to check out one of my favorite ever DMC routines, and that is Akakabe from the '98 World Final. This set is probably my top 5 or top 10 routines of all time. And I think for 1998, this was well ahead of its time and actually went over a lot of people's heads, in my opinion. The speed, complexity, and the accuracy of his juggling in this part of his routine is crazy. Let's take a listen. I love the way he effortlessly goes from one tempo into another, but makes it flow seamlessly. Some of the quick chasing beat juggles that he does here actually still kind of blow my mind today, to be honest. This bit here. Bringing the volume down there. Look at the up faders. So I'm pretty sure that Akakabe was the first DJ to use the up faders instead of the crossfader to switch between both tracks. The up faders on the Technics DMC official mixer were actually really close together, which made it a little bit easier to do, but even so, that is a really difficult skill to get right. And not only does he use the up faders to switch between the tracks, he's also manipulating the volume as he switches between the tracks, which obviously you can't do with just the crossfader. So this was super innovative. So now this goes into his famous King Cut routine. We've got to keep it rolling for this. This is a very classic routine, and you'll see why in a moment. The speed of some of these juggles is crazy. It's also the accuracy. Bringing the volume down. Accuracy on some of these juggles, given the context of the situation. Like, trust me, I can tell you, when you're standing on the world final stage, all of that adrenaline and all of those nerves can do really strange things. The fact that you have to be so accurate, like every minute movement of your hands has to be perfect. And I have a real appreciation of how difficult it is to pull off a routine like that. Be that accurate and be that quick. That set right there, one of my favorite DMC routines of all time. Okay, now let's check out DJ Fummy from 2023. There is a moment near the start of his routine where he does a beat juggle with Busta Rhymes Break Your Neck, and I've not seen anything like this before or since. So let's take a listen. Now that beat juggle right there, it's not traditional at all. Usually when you perform a beat juggle, you're using markers on the record to pull the record back to specific parts of the track. Actually, what Fummy is doing here is he's using hot cues to jump back to different parts of the record instead. Now, some people might consider this cheating, but I don't, and I'll tell you why. In that routine, Fummy is using the time that he's saving by using the hot cues to do different things. So number one, he does many different baby scratches on the beats to change the rhythm of the track. And on top of that, he's cutting between the tracks a lot quicker than you usually would if you were beat juggling in the traditional sense. Plus, he's using some effects. So he's using the roll effect inside Serato to repeat different beats. And to be honest, I see this entire beat juggle as pure innovation, using all of the technology and all of the gear that he has at his disposal to create a brand new style. And for me, that is exactly what pushing the culture forward is all about. One of the hardest things to do in any art form, but especially DJing and turntablism, is to actually be truly original. And that beat juggle right there is one of the most original that I've ever seen. Now let's move on to DJ Takada from the 1999 World Final. And for me, this routine, this beat juggle right here, is all about style, flow, and performing your routine and executing it completely cleanly, which for me is one of the most important things to get right when you're performing in a battle like this. It's all about how clean this routine is. You could put a metronome on that beat juggle and it wouldn't go out of time. Quite often I find in DJ battles, DJs try and be as technical as they can possibly get away with, but they sometimes don't account for the fact that being on that stage is not like practicing at home in your bedroom or studio. At home, you can perform a routine 100 times completely cleanly, but because you don't have that energy and that adrenaline going through you like you do on the World Final stage, a lot of DJs perform their routines not as cleanly as they could do. And for me, being clean and performing your routine tightly is probably the most important thing. In all honesty, I'm not interested in what you could do in practice. I'm interested in what you do actually perform on stage. And that routine from Takada, and in fact, his entire performance in the 99 World Final, is a great example of style over technicality. Now, don't get me wrong, this is the DMCs, and we do want DJs to be as technical as possible, but in my opinion, not at the expense of performing the routine cleanly. That was DJ Takada from the 99 World Final. Finally, I want to go back to DJ Akakabe when he came back to perform in the DMC Supremacy in 2004. Akakabe was the 97 and 98 Japan champion. Out of nowhere, he came back in 2004 and he was one of the greatest ever Battle for Supremacy world champions. The Battle for Supremacy is when two DJs go one-on-one for 90 seconds and the judges choose a winner who then goes through to the next round. In my opinion, Akakabe is the best ever Battle for Supremacy champion, and this routine was actually from the Battle for Supremacy Japan final in 2004. This juggle is a perfect example of why I love the Japanese turntablist style so much. It's clean, it's super rhythmical, and it's different. Those are three elements that I think Japanese turntablists always manage to nail. So let's take a look.
DJ Akakabe! You must learn.
So right here, he starts to pull back the track on the right deck and frankly makes it look super easy. But trust me, this is anything but easy to get right as cleanly as he does here. It's unbelievably tight.
Fresh, 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 fresh.
Akakabe is a legend. He's one of my favourite DMC competitors of all time, and I'm hoping to meet him for the first time next week at the World Final in Tokyo. So those are my favourite ever Japanese DMC competitors. I cannot wait for next week. It's the 40th anniversary of the DMC World Final out in Tokyo, and it is an honour to be judging on the panel. And make sure you stay tuned to my YouTube channel because I'm going to be putting out content from the DMCs out in Tokyo. Now, if you want to check out my favourite ever DMC moments from across the years, then make sure you check out this playlist right here where I react to my favourite routines and break them down to help you understand them better.